And 3, 2, 1. How's it going, folks? Sorry for the late start. Very much apologize, but this is Tommy Gann here, and this is Tommy, T-A-L-K, Talk. Happy to be back with you guys. One day late, but one day late for a good reason, because we had college basketball to watch last night, and the UConn Huskies have become the first men's basketball team to win back-to-back titles since the 06-07 University of Florida Gators. What a game. Well, not really what a game. I mean, it comes down to this. UConn was dominant all tournament long. They won. I think they won each game going into this by at least 10 points each, 15 points each game. It was a... listen, for a while there, it looked like Purdue had their chance. I thought Purdue could win that game. I really did. It didn't work out. They couldn't keep up with... I mean, Zach Edey at first looked like they were going to keep him, that he was going to keep them in the game, and it just didn't work out that way. They lose by 15. Just a dominant run by UConn. The Huskies, it's been a long time since I have seen a performance like that. You know what I mean? Like just a dominant type of performance all the way around like UConn had during this tournament. It felt like almost no game was close. And they're going to have a chance to go three-peat this upcoming year in 2025. And then you circle around to the women's bracket the day before. Sunday, everyone was watching, hoping to see Caitlin Clark win a national title, complete the journey. And it did not come true. South Carolina finished the season undefeated. No losses. And Dawn Stanley is a great head coach, possibly the best head coach in college basketball at the moment. Her and Dan Hurley right up there. Some people say that she should even be looked at for the Kentucky job, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. I think someone said that if Caitlin Clark was on South Carolina, it would have been like a 40-point blowout. It wouldn't be close. She kept them in that game. It felt like at the end of the game, they should have just been having her just put up. If Caitlin Clark could have gotten hot at the very end of the game, maybe they could have cut it close. But they didn't do that, which I thought was surprising. And so it wasn't close in the end. It sucked. I really was hoping for Caitlin Clark to complete her journey, but now she'll complete her journey going on to the WNBA. And then you look at both of these championship games, and this is something that's been kind of throughout both these tournaments. The question has been which one is going to be bigger ratings wise. Caitlin Clark said something about how the women's tournament was bigger than the men's tournament this year, which I didn't think was true, but it ended up being that the women's championship game outdrew the men's championship game by more than 4 million viewers. The women's game got 18.87 million, and the men's game got 14.82 million viewers. Now, having said that, I think it is only fair to mention this. The women's game was on a Sunday afternoon on ABC and ESPN. So on basic cable and on just regular old network television. The men's game was at like 9:30 Eastern time, and it was on TBS and TNT, both basic cable, but neither as big as those other two networks. So I think that needs to be factored in a little bit, plus the Caitlin Clark factor as well. But still, a tremendous achievement for women's basketball, for sure. One last thing I want to mention about the men's tournament and UConn and Purdue specifically. Zach Edey, he played okay in this game. Obviously, he's been a dominant college basketball player. There's no denying that. Player of the year. However, I was getting in an argument last night, people saying, of course he's going to be drafted like first round, like 15th overall, top 20 or whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about? What? Huh? What? He's tall. He's a tall guy. He's a free throw merchant tall guy who's great at getting to the line, great at setting his feet so he doesn't get 5-second violations, great at typically putting himself in a position to use his height to his advantage. He's great at that stuff. And at the college level, that gets you going. But at the pros, you're facing world-class defenders, even guys that are like a foot shorter than you. Because it's not like he had like incredible handles or incredible athletic ability. That's never been the case with Zach Edey. He has been a guy who has used his height to his advantage, and he's used it incredibly well to his advantage. However, he'll go second round at best probably, and I don't think he's going to make it too far in the NBA. He'll languish in the G League for a while. He'll end up playing alongside Jimmer Fredette in China. Let's be honest, folks. He ain't doing much. He's not going to do much in the pros. I'm sorry. And people are saying stuff. I saw a take saying that because he cannot get NIL money because he's Canadian, that is why Barstool people were trashing him because they couldn't make money off of him. Like, bro, Barstool's not the only one trashing him. Everyone is trashing him. I'm trashing him. And I don't no doubt he's a good guy, a good person, a good kid. I'm not trying to hate too hard on him as a person. But his game is what people trash on for good reason. And I think that's just a fair thing to say. It's unfair to say that, like, oh, they can't make money off him. Which, it is unfair. He can't make money because he's Canadian, because that's how the NIL laws and stuff like that work. But, come on. Moving on to another huge men's basketball news. John Calipari, the national championship winning coach at the University of Kentucky, 15 years at UK. Incredible run. Considered one of the best recruiters in college basketball. One of the best guys. One of those coaches that is legendary at this point. He is stepping back from being the head coach at the University of Kentucky. And the word is, and all the reports circling around says, he will accept the job at the University of Arkansas. Now, a few different things. Number one, he put out a statement today where he talked about stepping away and that the program needs a new voice. And it was a pretty good video. I'll give him that. It was a really good video. People were like, wow, this sounds very legitimate, very genuine. It seemed to be coming from the heart. Now, at the same time, I have no doubt that there's bags being thrown by Arkansas right now. The whole word is that he's close with the Tyson family, like Tyson Chicken. And with that money, the NIL money that Arkansas is willing to put up and the money they're willing to give him, he's going to go to Arkansas and get paid a boatload of money after Eric Musselman got out of Dodge and went to USC. Listen, I think Arkansas, clearly, surprisingly, there's a lot of money there. I mean, between Walmart, between Tyson Chicken, out of Fayetteville, there's a surprising amount of money. Some people don't realize that. So it makes some sense. And they, historically, there has been some great basketball that's come out of Arkansas. In recent years, much better than the football, really. And so it still is a shock if this actually ends up happening. Because he's been an institution at Kentucky. And people were coming after him after they lost to Jack Golke and crew at Oakland. But, people thought, okay, he's going to change it up a little bit. Less of this recruiting. What I mean is less of bringing in like the 5-star freshmen and stuff like that. And more of bringing in transfers. Because transfers and stuff like that is what really... with the championships, having those extra guys, that veteran presence, he's not going to be able to have. The people are saying, okay, won't be able to do that anymore. Do the whole mostly freshman thing. And my only thought process is, well, maybe Arkansas says, no, you can keep doing that at Arkansas if you can get those guys in at Arkansas. Because I could see, them becoming a new juggernaut when it comes to recruiting, which would be a big shock. I mean, obviously, Coach Cal is a legend. Overall, though, it's going to be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see who ends up going to Kentucky. Like I mentioned, the South Carolina coach, John Stanley, could go over there. Billy Donovan was mentioned, but he says that he's not going to. Although I wouldn't blame him if he did, because the Bulls are an absolute disaster, mess, disgusting. Other guys being thrown around, Dan Hurley, but I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I mean, anything can happen if you throw a bunch of money, which no doubt they will, more money than he's going to make at UConn, but he's probably not going to go there. I bet, people have been saying Rick Pitino, little reunion in Lexington. He brought him to a Final Four before. Why not bring him back around? He's back in major college basketball, but that's probably not happening either. There's a few other guys being thrown around. Scott Drew at Baylor, which probably sounds like the most likely thing to happen, although he's a guy I feel like who could have gone anywhere. I don't know. They're obviously going to get a big name. I have no doubt they're going to get a big name, or at least a juicy name, to come there, because, I mean, Kentucky basketball is still Kentucky basketball. One of the really the best of the best when it comes down to it. The best of the best. Finally, in sports stories, and this is one of those things that's being really kind of ping-ponging around the baseball universe. So right now, people are saying it's time to get rid of the pitch clock is a disaster, and it's causing pitcher injuries. Yuri Perez, Shane Bieber, Spencer Strider, 3 of the best in the game, out for the season. And then you have guys like Garrett Cole, who's not going to be pitching until May, or the end of May. You have guys like Shohei Ohtani, who can't pitch, who's not going to pitch this season. People were saying, okay, this is all because of, extra strain on pitching arms because of pitch clock, which was put in a couple years ago. I'm going to be honest. I think it's an adjustment period. I don't know if you need to go away from pitch clocks right away. Maybe make it a little bit longer, add like 10 seconds to the pitch clock or something like that. Maybe you could do that. I could see that. I don't think that's a crazy thing to do. But I think the pitch clock has been so beneficial, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that pitchers are pitching faster than ever before right now, and they obviously they're pitching faster and have more stuff, which makes a big difference. But also, it takes some adjustment time. I mean, we were allowing pitchers to lollygag for 1 trillion billion years before this. And now, you change things up, and it takes some time for adjustments. So I think, it's kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater if you just completely get rid of the pitch clock, or you really diminish it completely. I think add a little extra time right now, and you keep decreasing it as arms get used to it. I think that's a fair analysis, because I don't think it has to do with like a fundamental human thing where the human body can't stand it. No, I think it's a pitching thing where pitchers will adapt, their bodies will adapt over time. Right now, this type of fast pitch type of stuff is not what they've been getting used to for all these years they've been playing baseball. So that's my take on it. I really like the pitch clock. It's done a lot, and I mean a lot, since it was introduced last year, to bring down the time of games. Because before that, times of baseball games were getting out of hand like crazy. With the pitch clock, we've seen major decreases, which I think is a great thing for the game of baseball. And so, all I got to say is, chillax. Just for a second. Chillax a little bit. Maybe we got to chillax a little bit on the pitch clock a little bit. But overall, don't pretend like the pitch clock is some evil thing that has to be, banished off to the netherworld. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. In any case, folks, thank you all for watching and or listening. Please subscribe. Tommy Gann on YouTube. I want to do more YouTube videos, more stuff like that. I'd like to do some stuff at like Rockies games and stuff like that. That'd be a lot of fun, doing some candid stuff, little video vlogs, some vlogging, more active vlogging type stuff, or just fun YouTube content. Get a little bit outside the box, enjoy it. Please DM me comments, ideas, and stuff like that for me to do. I know half of you anyone who actually does it, there's a good chance you're just going to say something mean. But whatever, say something mean. Let's get some interactions up, even if you say mean things. Please subscribe. Tommy Gann on YouTube. Tommy Talk on Apple Podcasts, at Tommy SGAHAN on social media platforms, including TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And give me some comments, concerns, all that stuff. Like and subscribe on all platforms. Like this video. Subscribe on YouTube. Give me all that stuff. Gimme. Thank you all for watching and or listening. I am Tommy Gann, and this has been Tommy Talk. I think I just garbled that. Tommy Talk. All right. See you guys. Love you.